I think I'm live now. Let me see. Hold on. Finding others. Okay. Next. I think I'm live now. I don't really know. This is like the second or third time I think I've ever gone live since I've had Instagram. So I'm not proficient in going live like at all. So I don't know the rules. So if I'm touching the screen or if I'm doing something like that, you guys just gonna have to like let me slide with that. Shout out to everybody in the room so far. It looks like we have 3 people. I feel I'm sorry, y'all. I feel so old. I'm like, ooh, how do you like work at Instagram live? And I'm live on YouTube all the time, and I don't know how to work at Instagram live. I think that's funny. I see Breezy in here, Sebastian, and Jay Watt to which Jay Watt to which? How you doing? How's everybody doing? I'm not gonna be on here too long because I just wanted to touch on the Wells Fargo situation, and I'm going to the gym in a minute. So I want to touch on that before I went to the gym. So without any further ado, like I said, guys, I don't really know how to do live like that. So I don't want people saying, oh my God, you messed up. But shout out to everybody in here so far. I think I'm going to record this. I hope so. I'm trying to. Anyway, when it came to the Wells Fargo situation, I made a post about it. I put that on my story, where Wells Fargo is accused of scheduling fake interviews for black applicants. So what they're doing, S Green says, hey, S Green. So what they're doing is, for the sake of diversity, yes, record it. How do I do that? How do I record it? Hold on. Let me see. Am I recording it? I don't know if I'm recording it. I don't know how to do that though. Oh, Kid Gravity is in here. Shout out. Do you know how to? I feel like an old man. Like, I don't know how to record. And who's all these people looking? I don't know how to do that. Let me see. How do you guys know how to? Oh my God, this is embarrassing. Do you know how to record on Instagram? Do you know how to do that? Hold on. Is it that? No, not that one. Okay. Let me see. No, that shows me who's watching. Torian is in here. Do you know how to record? Yes, record it automatically. Make sure it records automatically. Okay. I feel old. Okay. It records automatically. Okay. I feel like, oh man, what is these buttons doing? I don't know how to record. I'm all the way in it. Does it work now? How is it working? What's this thing? Okay. I'm getting better, y'all. I'm getting better. Okay. There's all these new phones and stuff. Back in my day, we didn't have all this. We just had a camera and we took pictures. And we talked in person, all this technology stuff. Oh, Tasha, how you doing, Tasha? Okay. Shout out to Tasha Peters. You're such a great supporter. But I wanted to talk about the Wells Fargo being accused of fake interviews. So, I'm not going to read the whole article. This is not like YouTube. I just wanted to break this down because this is something I wanted to talk about as soon as it happened. But I was kind of busy. I've been busy pretty much the whole weekend, so I haven't been able to really talk about it like that. But I have a little bit of time before I go to the gym to discuss it, so that's what I want to do, right? So apparently Wells Fargo is supposed to be scheduling interviews for black applicants, for their positions for employees making over $100,000. What they're doing is they had already promised those positions to other applicants, white applicants, and they, because of like the diversity quota, or what they have is some type of audits or something like that. They have like let me see, what is that thing? I'm not exactly sure what the term is called, but it's like some type of ethical audits where people come in and then they get to see the practices of whatever establishment, kind of just like a quota, so to speak, and see, okay, how many diverse people work here, how many, like, what are the rules, how many people are getting paid this, how many people getting paid that. So what they do, because majority of this establishment is white, and most of the people who run it is white. Torin, you made a great point. I don't know, can you highlight stuff? Can you highlight stuff? Yeah, I can add people as a moderator on here. That's so cool. What? That's cool. Okay, that's cool. Okay, anyway. Oh, and brother Nino is in here. So what they do is they'll set up fake interviews, and then they'll have black people come in for the interviews, black people who are qualified for whatever position. And they do this in the NFL too. They do this all over the place. They've always done this. They'll have black people who are just as qualified as their white counterparts for the interviews, and then they'll be like, well, for whatever reason, we decided to go with them over you. But those white people that they picked have already been chosen. They have already picked those white people ahead, like, okay, we're going to give you the job, but so we don't seem like a racist organization, we're going to have interviews with black people, and then we're going to pretend like we're giving these black people an opportunity. So as I was looking into Wells Fargo, the first thing that popped up in my mind is, I wonder if Wells Fargo, the bank, owned slaves. And to really no surprise, they did. Wells Fargo was founded in New York in 1852. Okay, Wells Fargo, as far as many other banks in America, Wells Fargo, Citibank, Bank of America, JP Morgan, which is Chase, JP Morgan Chase, they all started with the slave trade. They all came up with the slave trade. So from its inception, it's always had anti-black racist policies. What I find interesting is what they're trying to do is, he just says Wells Fargo owners own slaves. Exactly. Yes, they did. Can I like stuff on it? Oh, wow. See, I don't know too much about Instagram lives. I didn't know you can like stuff. Citigroup, all of them. Most of these banks, most of these insurance companies, especially the ones that go way back into the 1800s, they all started with slavery. The owners either owned slaves, or people were using slaves as collateral when they were taking out loans and stuff like that. So that's how the insurance companies started off with slavery. So either they owned slaves directly. The first Wall Street was about slavery. Everything really is about slavery. So when people talk about slavery built America, slavery literally did build America. Every establishment in this country can be tied back to slavery in some way or another. Either you directly were tied to it, or you benefited from something that was directly tied to it. And Wells Fargo was directly tied to it. So it's always had like racist, anti-black, white supremacist like origins. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm noticing, let me see the CEO. Let me find out exactly who the CEO is, because I forget his name. Let me see. Okay, hold on. I'm looking up. Okay. Continue reading. The CEO, okay. His name is I guess he was the CEO. He says the CEO of 2 years, Charles W. I'm bad at pronouncing names, but Charafter. Let me actually put his name in the thing. Hold on. Let me see. I am not that great with pronouncing names, y'all. Hold on, Charles. Not Charlie, Charles. Okay, Charles W. And then clearly this dude is what do you call that thing? Damn, a European. This is a European name, very European. Let me see. After. Okay, yeah, that's his name, right? So he pledged to increase diversity after the following of George Floyd. Okay, this was in 2020. So what happened in 2020 is everybody's like racism, all these companies, racism really got put on the spotlight. So what they're doing is, because everybody's racism is being highlighted, right? Sure after. Okay, that's how you pronounce it. I'm not that great with pronouncing names in general in the first place, but you know what I'm saying. I'm trying. I'm doing what I can. I'm trying. So what they do, sure after. Okay, got you. So what they're doing is when people come in to do these audits to see like the racial diversity, and that's a term I'm using very loosely because that's the term the article's using, because racial diversity really means anything. I don't really get sold on racial diversity because then you can hire a white Hispanic or you can hire an Asian and call that racial diversity. So unless they use this term specifically black, then I'm not going to, and they're not selling me on that. But for racial diversity, right, or for diversity, they're supposed to be having more diversity in their companies, because nowadays the thing is they're supposed to be hiding their white supremacy. They're supposed to be hiding all of that. So they're having interviews, they're having fake interviews after they've already promised white people the position. And they do this all the time. And Torian brought that up, they'll hire with the NFL, right? People been getting on the NFL, especially after Colin Kaepernick kind of like put them on blast. People been getting on the NFL about their anti-blackness, right? So what they're supposed to do is try to cover that up. People been talking about how the NFL didn't have black coaches and black owners. I think in all of the teams in the NFL, there's only like one black owner. I think. I don't really follow the NFL like that, but I think like out of all of them is only one single black owner. Now the majority of the teams, the players, the football players are black, but there's only one black owner. And this is really close to that in black coaches too. Most of the coaches aren't white, right? So what they were doing is, because everybody's kind of putting their racism on blast, they're kind of like having articles that's slandering them. So for publicity, for like what they call to fix the publicity, right? They're going to have interviews they're going to highlight interviews with black coaches who are qualified for the position. They're going to highlight interviews for black coaches who are qualified for the position. And then they're going to be like, well, I mean, you came close, but unfortunately, we're just not this time, or you're not really what we're looking for, or this person was just a tad bit more qualified. But they honestly had no true intention on hiring the person anyway, because they had already promised the position to another person, another white person. I forgot what his name was, but one of the football coaches, and this happened, I think earlier this year, or I think it happened earlier this year or late last year. I think it was earlier this year though. One of the coaches, he was supposed to be getting an interview to be a coach. One of the NFL coaches was supposed to be getting an interview to be a coach on a football team. And so before the interview, prior to the interview, somebody had already called, and I guess this was like a Flores. His name was Flores, right? Yeah, Flores. Somebody had already called. I think they called him by mistake, or they left a voicemail on his phone by mistake, congratulating a white person for getting the position. And he's looking at it, Brian Flores. Thank you. He's looking at it like, how are you going to congratulate somebody for giving them the position when clearly you said that you're still taking in applicants? So this is just a fake interview that you're doing to make it seem like, to make it seem as if you were open-minded enough to hire a black coach. Oh, our brother Nino says he's a black Latino. I didn't even know that. I'm not like into football. Like, I like playing football, but I haven't followed the NFL like that in years, but I do try to like stay up to date with the stories as far as that's concerned. You know what I'm saying? But they do the same thing with banks too. And one thing I noticed that's very interesting with the article, in the one I posted on Twitter, is that in the article, they try to use very washed up languages. They try to use diversity a lot. They use black, but the amount of times that they use minority or diversity outweighs the amount of times they use black. They use minority and diversity, and almost every time they use black, they use and women. And so you guys know, this doesn't really mean black women. Anytime you see minorities and women, you just have to automatically know that that's just some type of trick language that they're using with you. When they say women by itself, by default, by absolute default, they mean white women. That's 100% what they mean when they say white women. When they say women, they mean white women. The white is just written in invisible ink. That's what they mean. Okay. So when they say, oh yeah, we have racist practices, or we have discriminatory, and they don't even really use the word racist, they use discriminatory. Watch that too, because when you say discriminatory, that can mean racism, that can mean sexism, that can mean homophobia, that can mean ageism, that can mean what's that other thing called, disable the like the disabled phobia, or something like that, right? Something like that. I forgot the term, but when they say discrimination, that can mean anything. That can mean classism as well too. So we have to be careful when they're trying to slip us up with the language here. Okay, yeah, ableism. Thank you, Nino. Ableism and xenophobia. That can mean all of those things. So anytime they say, oh, discrimination, that doesn't necessarily mean anti-blackness. So we have to be careful when they use that. We also have to be careful when they use terms like people of color, minority, disenfranchised people, all of those things. We have to be careful when they use all of those things, because those things apply to everybody. Technically, right? If a minority, white women can count as minorities. And when they say women too, they specifically mean white women. They're not talking about black women. They're talking about white women. When they say minorities, technically that can mean gay white men who practice the same level of anti-black racism as the straight white men. If we look at the director of the FBI, or the ex-director of the FBI, J. Edgar Hoover was gay. He was a homosexual, and that was known. It wasn't like he wasn't like a closeted gay person. It was very well known among the people he was around, among his peers, that he was a gay man. But he was a notoriously anti-black. He set black people up. He is, and you don't hear white people talk negatively about J. Edgar Hoover. You don't hear that at all. Okay, and he was gay. So just because a person is gay does not mean that they're any less anti-black. Okay, does not mean that. Okay, Dylan, you're right too. White women are the #1 beneficiaries of affirmative action. So when they talk about we got to get rid of discriminatory practices, or we have to be more diverse, which is why we got to be careful with the diverse word, because that can just mean white women who we know practice the same level of anti-black racism as white men. We have all these videos of Karens calling the police for no reason. Remember the New York Karen who was calling the police beforehand, telling the black man that she was going to lie and say that she was being attacked, and then she got on the phone and lied and said that she was being attacked. You have those type of women all across America. I know we haven't forgot about Carolyn Bryant, the woman who lied on Emmett Till and got him tortured and murdered. They've always been around. Okay, white women have owned slaves since the start of slavery. They've always been around. So we can't allow the diversity thing and think that, well, if white men have this much privilege and white women have this much, they can understand us better than a white man can. No, we can't. We cannot be confused with that. Okay. The last captivated slave ship in America was led by white women. Exactly. The racism of white women has often been overlooked. For the longest time, the racism of white women has been overlooked because for some reason or whatever, we've classified them, or we've allowed the dominant society to classify them as minorities. So when they classify them as minorities, subconsciously we're thinking to a degree, they have a grievance against America as well too. So they're not as much of an oppressor as the white man is. That's where the feminist thing came in, because they was all like, well, you know what, we women, we have rights we want to fight for, and black women, you have rights you want to fight for, and we're all oppressed in one way or another, so let's stick together. Okay, they are a part of the oppressor class. Okay, Nino says, hold on, let me see before I get to that. Instagram is not letting me say what I want to say in the comments. Instagram probably is. Instagram's probably not. I don't know. I don't even know about Instagram lives like that. I might do more often because I think it's a little bit more convenient than YouTube, because I got to be at the house and set it all up. Nino says white women were so brutal on slaves that they made laws preventing them from going overboard. Exactly. Let me like that comment actually. Exactly. Some of the most brutal acts of slavery, if you know our history, which is why it's important to know history, some of the most brutal, inhumane, torturous acts of slavery, acts of a slave master doing something to a slave, was white women doing stuff to their black slaves. White women were no easier whatsoever, no more humane in their slave ownership than white men were. In fact, oftentimes they were more inhumane, more devilish, and more brutal. Okay. Yeah, Instagram lives are very censored. Yeah, I know. They want the same rights as their evil husbands. Exactly. We have to understand, when it comes to white women and white men, that is their own problem. We are not, as black people, we are not to be involved in the problems between a white man and a white woman. They're fighting for their rights to equally oppress you. They feel like, why are you doing most of the oppression? I want to get in on this too. That's pretty much what they're on. Because every single time they've had a chance, they've never stood up for black people whatsoever. Okay, not during the times of slavery, not during the times of Jim Crow, not even today. They're not doing it, and they won't do it. Okay, they are a part of the oppressor class, and that's where they want to be. Sexism, what they call sexism, doesn't bother them to the as much as they would rather live in a society that is sexist than live in a society without their white privilege. Okay. Let me say that one more time. They would rather live in a society of sexism than lose their white privilege. So they're not going to really shake the boat like they make it seem as if they will. They're more complacent being under a white man than they would be black people being equal to white people. They don't want that at all. As much as they want to be the ones with the whip, they'd rather the white man be the one with the whip than you not being whipped whatsoever. So we cannot allow these, we need diversity, and then we need, women, and because women are oppressed. Any single time they say women, just by default know that they are not talking about non-white women. They are talking about white women who, when they get in these positions, are going to practice the same level of anti-blackness as their white men, if not more so. If not more so, to be honest. You can make a strong debate about who is more racist between the white woman and the white man. To be honest, if you know history, you can really make that argument. And people would have a strong case to argue that the white woman is more racist than a white man is, or has just acts on it more often. Okay? You can make that case. You can strongly make that case. Our brother Tony says PC has their own. Let me see. PC has their own shit. However, I will call out when they try to drag us into their shit. I.e., my last post about Amanda. I forgot her last name. Yeah. If you guys go to your profile and go to your last video, they always try to drag black people into their problems for like backup and assistance. They always do that. Okay. we leave them, like they're talking about the Roe v. Wade thing, and they keep on trying to pull black people into it, because they know there's a lot of, the black people are very disconnected when it comes to this issue. You haven't really seen a lot of black people really voice great opinions about this. Black people, for the most part, are ignoring it, and they know that black people are ignoring it because they're trying to drag black people into it. They're trying to tie this into, well, what about this? And if this affects this, and this is going to affect black people. They're trying to tie black people into it. We have to understand what they're doing. So as far as their problems, the issues that the white woman has with the white man, that is their problems. As far as terms like people of color goes, these people of color, these terms of people of color, they're very tricky terms too, because people of color can literally, it's such a vague definition. It can literally mean anybody. It can mean anybody whatsoever. Okay. You can't, people argue that a white Hispanic is a person of color. An Asian is a person, a white Hispanic with white on the documents is a person of color. So what is a person of color? If you make that argument, so we can't let that trick out either. Now what they're doing is, now I want to read a little bit. I want to read a little bit of this, right? Wells Fargo spokeswoman, Miss Barton, Wells Fargo spokeswoman Miss Barton denied the fake interview claims. Of course, she would. Telling the Times in an email statement, to the extent that individual employees are engaging in the behavior as described by the New York Times, we do not tolerate it. Okay. Barton says in 2020, the bank hired nearly 26,000 people, and 77% were not white men. And 81% of the 33,000 new hires in 2020 were not white men. Okay. She did not specify what percentage of the new hires were for jobs that were more than 100,000. Okay. The bank has been in legal hot water regarding diversity before. In August 2020, the bank had paid $80 million, and this is the article I put on Instagram if you guys want to check that out yourself. In August 2020, the bank, which means Wells Fargo, the bank had paid $80 million in settlement to the Department of Labor for allegedly discriminating against more than 30,000 black applicants in banking, sales, support roles, and at the bank. Oh, sorry for that. Okay. And now, our brother Nino says, hyphenated Negroes keep trying to align themselves with white people on the basis of class, gender, sexuality, religion, etc., not realizing that their whiteness proceed over all. It does. If y'all think that y'all special, if y'all think that your sexuality makes you any special, it puts you in a different category or a different level, and you're going to be affected less, you're wrong. Okay? Somebody made a post on Twitter saying that when a black man turns gay, he thinks he's white. And to be honest, for the most part, that's kind of true. I be seeing a lot of the tweets from gay black men and they act like they're damn near white the way they talk to other black people. Okay, and this doesn't apply to everybody. This doesn't apply to all, but yeah. Let me see. Yeah, probably. Yeah, exactly. Dylan, you pointed it out, and I wanted to touch back up on that. She says that 26,000 people, 77% were not white men. Now, when they say white, notice they're talking about non-Hispanic white. So it could be Hispanic white, they don't count. So when she says it's not white men, half of that can be Hispanic white men. So it could technically still be white men. Whenever they say white men, they're talking about non-Hispanic white men. They're not counting Hispanic white men. 2, she says it's not white men. She didn't say it's not white people. Notice that she didn't say, "Oh, we hired mostly non-white people." She just said not white men. So 60% of the 77 people could have been white women. Okay. And then she didn't even specify for the roles of the jobs that paid over 100,000. So these could be janitors. These could be any low level, entry level positions that were not white men. So it's too vague as to not be a white man. Okay. It could be one of these $5 Indians who are white men who claim that they're not white men. Okay. Yeah. Exactly. Not white men. Remember, anything that's other than straight Anglo-Saxon white male. Exactly. It could just be gay white men. That's really what it could be. It could be gay white men. And they're all like, well, it's not all white men. It's not all white men. No. We can't let them get away with these little trick words. They will always try to trick you up with that. Okay. So we have to really pay attention. And this is because I was reading it. What was it? I was reading it yesterday, and then I started reading it today at work, and I was like, oh, I'm starting to notice a lot of the trick stuff, so I wanted to really talk about that. Okay. What gets me, Tony says, what gets me about the black people in the academy who spew anti-black male slander while knowing of the racism within the academy from their PC counterparts. That, you know what, let me like that, actually. I'm starting to like a lot of stuff. Hold on. Yeah. And that's some of the craziest things. Because a lot of the times they do put their sexuality before. They put their sexuality before their blackness. And in the way they talk to black people is as if they genuinely believe that what they're sexually attracted to puts them in a category above their blackness. Like, it is crazy. It shows that they have mental problems. And before anybody goes, this does not apply to all of them, but this does apply to a decent percentage. It does apply to a decent percentage because the second we start talking about racism, and me and brother Nino, we would know this because we've been in a Twitter space where the second we start saying, okay, you know what, you do what you want to do. Okay, that's whatever. That's what you do, right? But let's focus on this racism. They're like, no, I don't want to focus on the racism. I want to focus on my sexuality being the biggest factor in my life. That is what they did. If you go to my YouTube page, the interview was on there. And me and Nino was in there for 9 hours talking about, okay, hey, we don't have a problem with you being gay, but we have a problem because every time we talk about white supremacy, you guys try to tie into the homophobia in the black community. You guys have more smoke for the black people than you do for the white people. And the white people are the ones causing the oppression and the harm to you guys. And they kept reverting back to that. Giselle is another one. If you guys know who Giselle is, Lord. If you don't know, that's a blessing. I'm going to say that. But Giselle is a transgender. It's a black transgender who claims to be a foundation black American. You know, some people have said stuff about it. But Giselle comes in, talks about how FBA is so transphobic and all of this stuff. You've never seen Giselle in a space talking about white supremacy and doesn't tie it into transphobia or homophobia. Every time, without fail, every single time, it's always white. We're talking about white supremacy. Next thing you know, Giselle pops up. I want to talk about why everybody's being discriminatory against me because I'm trans, despite the fact that I'm going around harassing people, threatening people, and reporting people's spaces and accounts. If you guys dislike me, it's because I'm a trans person and that's transphobic. That's what Giselle does. Okay. And I showed that. I literally showed all of the evidence of that in the space before. And look. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Nikki. She says, we were more than fair and patient. We were more than fair and patient, and all of the hostility came from their side. all of the hostility. Okay, they were slandering us, they was interrupting us, and we were trying to be calm and patient for 9 hours. The space went on for over 9 hours. Okay, in my time, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning when the space ended. Okay. Nino says Giselle's main customers of his sex work is white men. Exactly. That speaks volumes. Giselle doesn't talk about against white men. That's what I mean. She doesn't. Whatever. Giselle, he doesn't talk about white men. Doesn't. Not in a negative way. Okay. So unfortunately, we have to deal with the hyphenated Negroes who wants to put their hyphens before, which segues me to a conversation I was having on. Oh boy. Which segues me to a conversation I was having on Instagram. If you guys know, I don't know if I can actually show you guys, but there was I want you to listen. I want you to listen to this, right? If you guys haven't seen this, I posted this before. This was like about a couple months ago, right? Where I took a small clip from a divestment YouTube channel and I played it on Twitter. So you guys listen to it, right?
I was wondering why no one thought to say and voice their opinion that when I look at these white men, they are the epitome of masculine, and watching some of these police officers manhandle these black men in the street is very attractive, and it's a turn on, you know? And I'm wondering, does anybody else feel like that?
Hold on.
Yes, Lord.
Y'all off the chain, okay?
Okay, so that's what she said. You said, can I share my screen? I don't know how to do that. Hold on, let me see. How do you do that? Can I share it? What do you mean? Can you share your screen on IG Live? You're asking, can I? You said you can share your phone screen. How do you do that? I don't know how to do that. I really haven't used. It says okay. What's that? Request. Oh, okay. Hold on. I just accepted somebody's. Hold on. Let me see. Okay. Okay. Hold on. Oh, okay. Oh, Nito, how you doing?
What's up, brother? I'm gonna be real brief. I was actually about to step out as soon as you went live, but I had to put that on hold. I saw, I'm suspended from Twitter right now, but I saw a conversation going on that caught my attention, and I wish I could have chimed in on it. It was a conversation about that girl that was calling black men bullet bags. Basically, a Hispanic female called her out and was like, basically saying like, you wrong for saying that, something to that effect. And some black women who are part of the so-called B1 or conscious community were talking about, we need to keep things in-house. Y'all are feeling too comfortable allowing, outsiders speak on, our discussions, which I agree with to a certain extent. But it's like, y'all saying keep things in-house is meaning, you're not addressing the fact that she called us bullet bags. You said nothing about that. You had nothing to say about her calling black men bullet bags. But the minute a Hispanic female called her out on that bullshit, you jumping on the Hispanic female's back. And I don't know if you saw that. Like I said, I'm suspended right now, so I can't comment, but I'll still be going through Twitter looking at everybody's stuff.
I didn't see that. That's very interesting. That's very interesting, to be honest, because I do believe that we should handle our situations in-house. I do think that, but that means we handle it in-house. We don't ignore it and then have a problem when somebody else addresses it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Matter of fact, I'm sorry. The female who called her, who so-called called herself calling out the Hispanic female was I can't remember her name. She has a head wrap. I think she's Nation of Islam. There's an account called Craig's VCR. I follow Craig, on all my accounts. Craig typically goes viral for speaking, truth on behalf of black males. And Craig called her out on that shit. And Craig was like, you had nothing to say about her calling us bullet bags, but now there's somebody from the outside that's calling her out. Now it's an issue. You want to keep things in-house. And I think that speaks to a bigger issue regarding a lot of black females. I'm not not trying to down anybody, but I feel like this needs to be addressed, especially Black women in the so-called conscious community. There's a lot of times that they stand idly by and allow things to be said or done that I feel like they would be in the best position to address, but they don't. Then the minute we address it, we get jumped on because we're males. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's something that needs to be addressed as far as a lot of women in the conscious community. They need to do a better job speaking out. They shouldn't have to wait for us to say something. I'm not articulating myself very well, but that's really an issue I've noticed in the conscious community as a whole, where it's a lot of women who consider themselves to be B1 or conscious, but they just kind of sit idly by when we need them to be the main ones checking other females. You know what I'm saying? Because the minute a
I
male
fully
does it,
agree.
you know, we get pushed on the back burner just because we're males.
I fully agree. Everybody needs to start checking themselves, because I'm all like, if you see something, it's not enough for you to say, well, I just don't agree with it, and I'm gonna just move on. You know, when you see something, you're supposed to be the ones calling that out, because coming from men, and I remember, I forgot that actress's name, and she was posted up naked with her white zaddy, right? And she was fully naked, fully naked, and then he had a tuxedo on or a suit or something, and he was grabbing all on her. And I'm all like, doesn't that seem like sexually objectification? Doesn't it seem like that? And I'm getting the pushback, but I'm all like, it should be Black women who's all like, this is wrong. You know what? Journey Turner Smith, thank you, Nina. Not Nina. Torian, for that. You guys need to be. It's not enough for you to disagree. You guys got to be the voice against that. And what I find very interesting in what you said, do you remember that it's like a TikTok that went viral last year, I think, right? Where there was an Asian woman who was talking about how white women and Black men are on the same level. Like she was, and I made I'm probably gonna have to post that video again. It was an Asian woman who said, you know, white women and Black men, they're on the same level because they use their, I guess, something, they talk about how they're oppressed, but they don't talk about their privileges. So she was saying white women benefit from white privilege and Black men benefit from male privilege. So that's the same thing. So I said something in the comments about that. I'm like, no, that's not true. There's the blah. So I'm saying that in the comments, and unfortunately, I'm seeing a lot of Black women co-sign that. Like, oh yeah, she is telling the truth. She is telling the truth. So my thing is this: when Black men are being addressed by non-Black people, then there's no pushback. There's no pushback when a Black man is being addressed by non-Black people. Now, when Black women are being addressed by non-Black people, then we're supposed to have our gates up. Then it's, oh, come on now, you mind your business, you mind your Black business and all that stuff. But Black men, we just get the smoke from everybody. And then if we say something, then we're not taking accountability, so to speak. What they say, taking accountability.
I'm glad that you said that, because that was actually a conversation that was being held around that topic from what I saw. That was actually brought up about how when Black men are criticized, we're criticized by everybody. There's no lack of us being held accountable by any group. Everybody holds us, quote unquote, accountable, be it white men, white women, Asian people, gay people, every other group that considers themselves to be oppressed. They have no shortage of them speaking out against Black males and holding us, quote unquote, accountable. But who holds Black women accountable? You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's not to say that we need everybody jumping on their back. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we need Black women to hold Black women accountable, you know. And at least have the same standard for themselves that they have for us. Okay, you don't want non-Black people commenting on anything y'all do, or be it right or wrong? Okay, fine. Y'all need to have that same energy towards everybody else that has something to say about Black men. Problem solved. But I ain't gonna hold you up for too long, brother. I know you was doing your stream. I just wanted to tap in real quick, man. Let y'all know I'm still alive.
I appreciate that.
I know I've been ghost since Twitter suspended me, and then IG was preventing me from DMing folks for 7 days. So I know I was a ghost for like the past week.
Oh, you didn't DM on Instagram either?
Yeah, I put it on my story. I kept putting it on my story like, hey y'all, just a reminder, I
Oh,
can't DM for 7 days because I was arguing with this white Hispanic because my partner runs the more information page, the more info page, and I was arguing with a white Hispanic and he took it to my DMs or whatever. So I was talking my shit in DMs and he reported me, so I couldn't DM anybody for 7 days. It just ended today.
oh, okay.
But yeah, brother, I'm gonna stay tuned in though. I'm gonna let you.
Okay.
I
I
just
was
wanted to
I
tap
was
in.
before you go, I was wondering what happened because I sent you a DM and then I saw you read it and didn't say nothing. I'm thinking you talk about DMs on Twitter. I sent you a DM and then you read it. I'm like, oh, all right, all right.
No.
I
I'm not
guess
even
I
on
did
Twitter right
so.
now. I don't even have an active account on Twitter right now. Like I said, I can still use the app and look at people's tweets and the comments and all that good shit. But I don't have an active account right now, and I just don't feel like making another one because it's just gonna get shut down again. I'm running out of
I
phone
feel
numbers and
you.
emails. But yeah, I was banned from DMing on Instagram as well. That's what I was putting on my story, trying to let y'all know.
Oh, I feel you.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. It's a good thing you back now though,
Right, but all
right?
right, brother. I'm gonna slide down though. Matter of fact, I need to run and go grab me something to eat. I'm starving, but I'm still gonna be listening though, man.
All right, okay. I ain't gonna be on. I didn't plan on being on that much longer anyway. But I'll talk to you. Let me see. How do you? I don't know how to.
Oh,
Do you exit yourself or do I exit you?
I don't know. I don't even use IG Live. Let me see. Oh, I see.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Brother Dylan, you say you remember that? I remember that TikTok went viral. Where it was I gotta find it again. It was an Asian woman talking about white men, white women, and black men are on the same level because we're both oppressed in certain ways and then privileged in other ways. And then she was talking about and then first off, remember, and because I did this on my TikTok when I used to have a well, I still do technically, it's still up. I just don't really make videos no more. But I had a TikTok, the Afro leader on TikTok, right? And I replied to them. I'm like, okay, where is the comparison between black men and white women? Because you just made that. And she made it in a very egregious way. She made it in a way to trigger people. And then she made a backup video like, oh, well, in case what I said was misunderstood, maybe I didn't say it the way I should have said it. So she kind of tried to back that up, but she said it the first way so we would go viral. She deliberately said that the first way so it would go viral. I will find, because I did a video on both of those videos, so I will find that and then I will send that. I will post that. But they're both very wrong. Okay, and that is the anti-black racism in the Asian community. We have a lot of anti-black racism in the Asian community. So when they talking about diversity, that can include these very anti-black, blackface wearing Asians too. Okay, so we definitely got to watch out for that. We got to watch out for these discriminatory practices as well. And I find it very interesting because we're supposed to live in this like post-racial society where we're compared to every other group and we're told, oh, just pick yourself up by your bootstraps. And if you just apply yourself and you don't commit any crimes, and if you go to school and just get a good job and everything's going to be fine. There is no difference in power. There's no difference in anything between you and another person, especially a white person. Racism is over. It's all in your head, right? They tell us it's all in our head, and racism is an excuse that black people make up, right? They say that to us, and then we got articles, and this is not the first time. This isn't the first time, but we have articles popping up all over the place talking about how they try to cover white supremacy by giving black people fake interviews, not just in Wells Fargo, also in the NFL. Um, um, Fake housing audits where they go to audit a house, and for the black people, they value the house as a lower level than they would the exact same house for white people. So these are discriminatory practices that they use to keep their people on top. Okay. They use this all the time, but they tell us we need to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. We need to apply ourselves and work harder, and everything's going to be okay when we work harder. That's what we need to do, but it's fine because everything is fair and everything is equal now. Let me see. Hold on. All right. Dylan, you're right. They have museums. They literally, and I did this. This is one of my biggest videos, or my most popular videos. The anti-black racism in Asia. When they were trying to, this was in 2020, when they were trying to blame black people for the Asian hate that they said was just spreading across the nation. And they tried to be like, well, why are black people just racist to Asians? All of a sudden, Asians haven't done anything to black people. And I made a video and I told about them wearing blackface in their commercials. Their museums, they literally, I swear to God, they have museums where they have a picture of a black face, and then right next to it, they have a picture of a monkey. And it's not just one, it's two. It's a black child and then a black gorilla, a black child and a black monkey, a black person and a black monkey, and animals. They literally have that. You can Google that and you can see it for yourself. Okay. So, it says, exactly, Sister Nikki, they want to be accepted by white people. They do. A lot of them do, so they practice anti-black racism. Now, let me see. Nino says, do Asian males have the same privilege? Why she skip them and go straight to us? She know they would check her ass. Okay. And our brother, you touched on a really good point. Okay. Because if you notice these non-white women who want to check privilege, their male privilege and all that stuff, they don't really speak against their men of their own race. Even white women don't do it to a large degree. When they speak about patriarchy and male privilege, they don't really home in on the white part. They kind of leave that out. They talk about male as if all men are in on it, despite the race. All men are a part of it, right? They don't really home in on the white privilege part because they know that applies to them. Asians, when she was addressing, oh well, male privilege, she said black men, and she's not a black woman. She addressed black men and our privilege, but she's not going to address Asian men in their male privilege. Notice these non-black groups don't address their men and the sexism in their community. They don't do that because they don't want to create like a spotlight difference in their community. Remember, I said this too. When they were doing the Stop Asian Hate thing, notice how none of the Asian feminists who talk about women and all that stuff and preaching about all this, they didn't do the Stop Asian Women Hate because Asian women are under Asian men, so we got to stop. They didn't do the Black Lives Matter turning into Black Women Matter, turning into Black Trans Matter, turning into All Black People Matter. They didn't play that little game. That little divide and conquer game that only gets played when it's black people. Only when it's black people do you section black people off, and do you pay attention to the hyphenated Negroes. Only when it's black people. Asian people, Hispanic people, not even white people play that. Only black people. And unfortunately, it's a lot of the hyphenated Negroes. That's a lot of the black people who are LGBT. Let's just say it. Let's just say it. Y'all think y'all being LGBT makes you special. Let's just say it. That goes for a lot of black women. Let's just tell the truth. Let's just tell the truth. Okay. Y'all, too many, not all for either one, but too many. Y'all think that stuff makes y'all special. Y'all think that stuff makes a difference. Okay. Oh, how was everybody in the chat room? I appreciate it. I appreciate everything. I'm not going to be on for too much longer. I appreciate everybody in here. I didn't even really know how to use Instagram Live. I think I learned a little bit more now. Hold on, let me see. What is this? Oh, Dylan. Okay. I didn't even know that you requested. I just saw that. I think I just added you. Okay, I did. Oh, shoot.
Oh man,
What's going on, bro?
what's good, Jay?
Now, I had to speak on this, man, because I'm just reading it. I'm reading more about it, and it really started to bother me. And I'm all like, you know what? Before I go to the gym, like, let me make a video let me speak on this for a little bit.
Yeah, nah. I'm glad you did, man. Cause I saw that you had posted it on your story. I want to say maybe yesterday, and I was just like, oh, well, that don't surprise me at all. And then when you told me you was gonna do the Instagram live, I was just like, oh, okay, hold on, Jay finna do a live on Instagram. What he doing? He doing different things. I see.
Yeah.
But yeah, nah, it was good to get on that, and I'm glad you brought up when you was reading. You had, I can't remember word for word what you had said, but you said something to the nature of like, they picked 26,000 people, and most of them were not white
Mm-hmm.
or not
It's
white men. And I'm like,
77% of the 26,000.
okay, yeah. Then 9 times out of 10, that was probably mostly white women. I'ma just be for real.
Yeah. If she's a spokeswoman, she didn't become a spokeswoman for no reason whatsoever. So that means she knows what to say and what not to say. She chose to use those words for a very specific reason. She didn't say, if they were mostly black, she would have said black. She specifically, if they were mostly not white, she would have said not white. She specifically said not white men. You know, the more specific you get when you're wording things, the more specific you get, the wider the range is of the people who can apply for that. So if she said, most of the people we hired are non-white men above the age of 60. So that means anybody below the age of 60, even white men below the age of 60 could apply. So she know what she did. She know what she did, and she know why she said it the way she said it.
Yeah, she worded it because she was trying. She worded it in that specific manner because she knew what she was doing. She knew. She knew. Yeah, she knew what she was doing, yo. And then, I'm glad you brought up the point about the when you was talking about that Asian girl that made that video. I was just like, oh, I know exactly what he talking about. I'm like, I remember that video. I remember that. I think you had saw the video and then I sent it to you like right afterwards, and you was just like, oh yeah, I saw that video already, and then you gave me what you had thought about it, and I'm like, oh yeah, but yeah, she tripping. I don't know what she talking about.
And unfortunately, especially on TikTok, it is such a anti-black man hate, anti-straight black man hate. And like, can we just be honest? It's so anti-straight black men that you can literally go viral for just slandering black men. You really, really can. Like, I've seen so many things of, well, you know, black men are like just slander, lies, and all that. I'm like, had this been any other group, it would have been taken down. People would make 1 million like response videos taking this thing down. Nobody would be co-signing this. Now, but that video of it would be different if it was a black woman. Just as wrong though, but it'd be different if it was a black woman. But this isn't even a black woman. This is an Asian woman coming at black men, and you had thousands of black women like, well, she is right. She does have a point. She does have a point. So I'm like, oh, like, okay, so when an Asian man says something about a black woman, black men are supposed to have the same response? Because if an Asian man says something negative and untrue about a black woman, black men are supposed to be defending them, right? I mean, that is what we are supposed to be doing. So if it's the other way around, black women supposed to be defending black men. Whether she was right or wrong, which she was wrong, whether she was right or wrong, black women should have been like, it's not your place to say that anyway. If anything, we should be saying that you need to stay in your lane. You need to mind your business. But they was co-signing what she said. It's not that far. It happened last year. I think, or the year before, maybe 2020. But I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find that video.
Yeah, nah, that was last year. That wasn't that long ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that wasn't that long ago. That just reminded me, Jay. I think you remember, but I sent you that one video. It was that white boy. He was gay, and like he was saying something about like how black men are like something about like how black men are the most homophobic and shit like that. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember that video,
Yeah.
but I sent that to you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was last year. He was saying something about like how black men are the most homophobic and how all the black men are the white supremacists of the black community,
Mm-hmm. I
which
remember
I
that. I
still
remember you telling me
don't know
that.
what. Yeah, and I still to this day don't know what the fuck that is supposed to mean. But uh, yeah, nah, man, I don't get it. And then with the Wells Fargo bank, the Wells Fargo, I knew this, but they was yeah, they were slave masters back in the day, yo.
They were. Most of
Yeah, they
America's
were slave.
major banks were. They owned slaves. They were tied to slavery. Most of them.
Yeah, yeah, that's why I said in the comments, I said we should be going after black owned businesses and whatnot. I mean, but well, yeah, but black owned banks and move our shit to like black owned banks and whatnot and start supporting these black owned banks and make more black owned banks because of shit like this and what you explained.
Yeah, we should be doing that. We should be.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a black-owned bank. I have multiple banks, but I do have a black-owned bank. One of the things I will say, black-owned banks, you have a stigma against you, so you need to really be uh, above the curve, or what's the thing is like cutting edge. You need to be above the what's that? Was it above the curve or something like that, or beyond the curve or something? You need to be up to date with everything. You can't be falling behind in any category because you already have that stigma. And unfortunately, I've had some issues. So, but I still have faith because they're black. So I still have faith. But black-owned businesses do need to fix that because you don't get as many passes as the white-owned banks. Ahead of the curve. Thank you.
Yeah, they don't.
Because Wells
Yeah, they
Fargo,
don't give you.
Chase, they give people problems all of the time, but people forgive them. People aren't going to forgive a black-owned bank for the same mistakes they will forgive a white-owned bank. So that's why you have to be ahead of the curve and making sure you cross your I's and dot your T's. But that's really for any black-owned business, unfortunately. Unfortunately.
Or it's like, yeah, even a black owned business in general. Like, let's say, you go to, a black owned business right here and they selling something and it costs like, I don't know, $1, $2, $3 more than that white owned business. And then they gonna be like, man, why your price is so high, man? Man, you need to bring the price down, man. And you know, they start whining and complaining about the prices and whatnot, which we need to stop doing that shit too, cause that's not, no.
Mm-hmm. I
Because
mean,
guess what? If there's an Asian owned business and the Asian go in there, he ain't finna complain about them prices.
yeah. I mean, as far as how many times have, um, a restaurant got complaints where they were talking about a black-owned restaurant. Oh, I don't like this. They take too long. They overcharge. They doing this and that. And then you go to McDonald's and you get a cold-ass hamburger. They mess your order up.
Man,
How many times have people
yeah,
had reports about them getting cold, salty fries? But you don't see the same smoke from McDonald's. They don't say, I'm never, ever, ever in my life going to support another McDonald's. I'm never going to support another Subway. I'm never going to support another white-owned business again. But you will go to one black-owned business and you get some fries that's a little bit too salted, and you be all like, see, this is why I don't shop at black-owned businesses. I never go there again. All I'm saying is, I swear, all I'm saying is, if we had the same standard, and you can have that standard, you can, but if we had the same standard for black-owned businesses that we do with everybody else, we wouldn't be shopping anywhere. Okay, if we treated black-owned businesses the same way we treat Asian-owned businesses, we would never be shopping at Asian-owned businesses. They mess up all of the time, and they constantly get forgiven for what they've done. They constantly do. But a black person, one strike and you're out. Is really, that's what it is for a black person.
Yeah, I don't understand it. Yeah, it is a one strike rule. You mess up just one slight little itsy bitchy thing. Oh, I'm done. I ain't never shopping here again. I ain't never coming here again.
Yeah.
That's why I don't shop at black owned business.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sure right. Because and then they'll, like you said, they'll go to the McDonald's. They'll go to the McDonald's. They mess up your whole meal. They got the cheese and the sauce all off the damn burger. The fries, they all cold and soggy. And you be like, oh man, McDonald's messed my shit up. Well, I'll go back again tomorrow. But then if it's a black owned business and they mess up, let's say it's a restaurant and you order a burger and a fry and they just slightly oversalt the fries just a little bit, just too much for your liking, you gonna be like, man, see, that's why I was shopping these black owned business, man. Man, they always messing up shit. Like, it's some coon shit. I don't get it. Like,
they do. I remember one post.
Which, let me excuse my because for some reason Instagram doesn't like when I say coon, so sorry Instagram.
Yeah, we gotta use code speak, so to speak.
Sellouts.
Yeah, the sellout. Now I remember one post where it was talking. There was this one. It was like a couple years ago. I shared it on Facebook when I was using Facebook. I still have one, but I don't really use it that much, except to just every now and then I check it. But there was one post where it was talking about how black women work harder for their like certificates as far as doing nails. I forget what it's called, but you got to be certified to do somebody's nails. I forget what the term is called, but they do, and the eyebrows too. You got to be certified for that. So black women actually do that stuff, and then they get more pushback from other black women than the pushback Asians get for it. And then in the comments, it was all one screenshot. In the comments, one black woman was talking about, oh, well, I don't have to pay a crazy deposit. I don't have the Asians are so nice and polite and professional, and I get to get my stuff done quicker. She was just giving a long list of reasons as to why they were doing it. It did go viral. I don't know if it was a few years ago, so I'm not sure if people remember, but it did go viral. And I'm like, why are you dragging your own people's businesses to make somebody else's businesses look better? No other group of people do that. Do you know, if, for instance, if Asians like something a black person does better than they like the way an Asian person does it, they'll just shut up about it. They just won't say it. You don't see Asians talk about black people do this way better than Asian people. Oh man, if you want some good barbecue, you gotta go to a black spot because Asians can't cook no barbecue. You would never hear them drag their own people. Never.
Now that you say that, Jay, in Dallas they have a fried chicken spot called Lisa's Chicken, and it's like owned by like Asians and whatnot. And I've heard some black people say that, oh man, they chicken tastes better than black people fried chicken any day. I'll take their chicken over any day. And I'm like, okay, look here, Negro. The chicken is okay. It's not amazing. It's okay at best. It ain't like, stop. Like,
Yeah. Just doing the most. Doing the most. I can't stand that. I can't stand when people falsely elevate others over their own group of people. Black people are the only ones with that problem.
Yeah, I swear. Like, I'm glad you said that. Even with like, let's say, a black woman, she get her hair done at a Asian. Not her hair done. She get her nails done, and then she'll be disrespected. She'll be spat on. She'll be doing all this shit. That's not good. and then still keep going back to that same nail salon, that same place that's disrespecting her, beating on her, doing all this shit, following her around just because they're cheaper or they're doing this or they're doing that, and I don't understand that. Like, I'm not finna be disrespected just because it's cheaper. Like, what the hell kind of system does that make?
Just because it's more convenient. And our people need to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Too often, the system that we live in, it makes supporting other black people inconvenient. That's just the truth. It makes it inconvenient. But it's up to us to still move past those inconveniences and support other black people. I don't care if it's more convenient to have an Asian person do it. It doesn't matter, because Asians, they're so racially loyal that they will supersede what's convenient to what is best for the race. We got black people who are like, well, I mean, I would, but that's across the street, and that's two blocks down the street. So I'd rather go across the street than 2 blocks down the street. You know what I'm saying? You got black people who counting pennies when it comes to supporting other black people. Man, that stuff is way too expensive. They don't ever complain about any non-black person's price. Never, period. If it's a non-black person, they can imagine a number and say, you pay this number right here, you pay this number right here. They'll just write something down on the page. You pay $1,200,000 for this. It's some fake jewelry, and black people will pay it. Black people pay anything a non-black person tell you to pay. No matter what they charge you, black people will pay it. When a black person charges, they be like, oh, damn, brother. I mean, you understand, I'm struggling out here. See, this is a problem with black-owned businesses. Y'all make y'all stuff too high. You greedy. That's what the real issue is. This is why I don't support black-owned businesses, and I hate all black-owned businesses, because you guys are too expensive. I can't afford this. I'm broke. But they're not broke with non-black businesses. They don't dare be broke with non-black businesses, because you go to an Asian business and tell them you're broke, they will lock the doors and beat the shit out of you. They will lock the doors and whoop your ass if you tell them you're broke.
What they gonna do is they gonna follow you around the store. Then you gonna be like, "Oh, damn, I forgot my wallet, nigga. You forgot what?" And start beating your ass.
Yeah, they will. They really will, though. They really will, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say they really will do that though. That's the thing. So yeah, come on, black folks. Y'all gotta stop being so cheap. Don't be so cheap. Y'all gotta go out there more, look for these black owned businesses, cause trust me, if you live in a major city, which I'm sure most of y'all do, go out to them black owned businesses. Wherever y'all at, Chicago, Dallas, ever. Go look for the black-owned businesses and shop at them black-owned businesses. And don't sit there and complain about the prices, okay? Because we know y'all like to go to them little Asian shops or wherever that's not owned by black people and be like, okay, this is great. And then when it's the black-owned business, you like to complain about shit.
Yeah.
Some out stuff.
Yeah. And supporting black-owned businesses would be the key. Because the thing is, we shouldn't even want to live in a system where we have to ask another man for opportunities, another race of people for opportunities. We should have enough black-owned banks where Wells Fargo, Wells Fargo's looking for a black-owned bank. We got people from Wells Fargo trying to apply to black people. When black people are always in a submissive position, always in the oppressed position. Hold on, let me see something. When black people are always in an oppressed position, we're going to have these problems. This is why we need black-owned stuff. We need black-owned stuff. When we have enough black-owned banks, we won't have fake interviews, because all the times we've heard of fake interviews, not one single person has complained about a fake interview from a black-owned establishment. Black people don't do that. It's these white people who be having these fake interviews because they're really trying to help their own people out, but they don't want to seem like they're racist. So they schedule a fake interview. That's
Yeah,
why
of
we
course,
need black-owned banks, black-owned restaurants, black-owned industries, black-owned establishments, support black entrepreneurship, all of that stuff, so we won't have to deal with those problems.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, most
My
definitely.
brother Torian said, "Do you remember Jim Jones inside of the Gucci store?" I remember very clearly. Didn't he wait? How many hours? He waited like 2 hours. Was it? Um, it, for like somebody to come and talk to him, or somebody to come and see him, or something like that, and they ignored him for like 2 hours, and he still was fighting because he wanted to spend money at the Gucci store.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all saw the video, but it was Boosie. He saw like a line full of black folks in front of like the Gucci store, and he was telling them like, man, Gucci don't like y'all. Gucci don't respect black people, don't like black people. And they them black folks was just looking at him like he was crazy or some shit. But I mean, he was really being for real though. That's the thing.
He was. And the thing is that to be honest, in my personal opinion, Gucci is ugly. That is my opinion.
Yeah.
I've never seen like a Gucci jacket and I'm like, damn, that looked like a good jacket. Just the pattern and the colors look weird to me. That's my opinion.
Me too.
I feel like if black people, because black people like to dress nice, and we've always been well-dressed people, especially foundational black Americans. We've always been well-dressed people. That's just what it is.
We dress better.
That's just in the DNA, right? So if we're well-dressed people, we should be supporting our own black-owned designs, because these designers, the thing is that they're only as valuable as people perceive them to be. Gucci is so expensive because people perceive Gucci to be super valuable. If people just looked at Gucci like, oh, that stuff is ugly, that stuff is old, Gucci, I promise Gucci will go down on price, because their stuff isn't really that valuable. It's just the brand that makes it that valuable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and because people associate value with Gucci, people pay more for anything that's Gucci, because people associate being high value with Gucci. If we take the same strategy and we apply that to a black brand, or to a black designer brand or whatever, we can have a black owned Gucci, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? With the same thing, because it's about what people are willing to see it, to spend on it. You know, that's what it's about.
Y'all shop at Afro Elite right now.
Yeah, I do need to update my Instagram because I don't have the link in there anymore. I got to get that straightened out. I have to get that straightened out. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, most definitely.
Shout out to Dapper Dan. Shout out to Dapper Dan. Okay. See, if black people would get more on that page, we wouldn't even be having the problems where you getting discriminated against some racist ass Gucci store. You got black celebrities on the red carpet trying to show off their coats and shoes and stuff like that from white-owned designers who wouldn't be caught dead in a black-owned design. You got black people breaking their neck to wear clothes made by white people who wouldn't wear clothes made by black people to save their life. That's a shame. That's a shame.
Yeah, hell no. That would never happen. That would never happen. The only way I can see that ever happening is if they was trying to pretend not to be racist, and they was just like, well, I guess I'll wear it. I don't want to be called a racist. I guess I'll wear it. You know, that's the only way I can see that happening. But other than that, bro, they not wearing no black stuff.
Yeah, they won't.
Or the stuff that was made by black people.
They'll wear something. They'll wear something for a photo op. They'll take a bunch of photos and videos. Oh yeah, this is black-owned design, man. I love it. Black Lives Matter, dude. And then they'll take it off like it's burning them. The second the cameras go, I'm like, oh, get this shit off. This nigger clothes.
Get this off. Oh shit, get this. Gotta get this nigga shit up off me. Hell no. Oh,
He's gonna
shit.
start texting his family right afterwards. Mom, I'm sorry you saw that picture. I only wear.
Cause his mama gonna text him and be like, Garrett, what the hell you wearing?
Garrett.
Mom, I'm sorry, Mom. I had to post it on the Instagram to make sure no one thought I was racist, okay? But I took it off and I burnt it in the backyard, okay? I'm sorry. I apologize. I had to get that nigga shit up off.
She'd be like, "Well, you better come home because we have to have a family conversation. Your grandpa's
Okay,
very
mother.
upset."
Okay, mother. I'll be there. I'll be there very short. Oh shit! But yeah, nah, man, they would never get caught wearing that. They would never get caught, even in public. And Jay, we just had a conversation about this the other night when we was talking about how the white boys can't dress.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we was. Nikki asked, she said, let me ask y'all a question. Do y'all have to wear name? Do y'all have to wear name brand tennis shoes?
I can't see the comments.
Oh, she asks, do y'all have to wear name brand tennis shoes? To me, I'm gonna keep it real, and maybe this is just me. I've never really been a shoe guy. I've never really been a shoe guy like that. I like shoes that look nice, but I've never. I can definitely pass on that. I can definitely pass on. I don't have to. No, I don't have to.
Yeah, me either. I only have 4 pairs of shoes, and 2 of them are used for exercise and working out, and the other one is for work. And them are not shoes that I would wear in public like this. So, yeah, nah, I'm not really too much of a shoe dude either. So, not really, no.
There's a lot of Torian. He posted this on his Instagram. There's black-owned shoe brands, like black-owned people who make shoes and do stuff with shoes. So with the same point I was making earlier, we can take those shoes and those designs and all that stuff, and then we can blow that up, because black people, we the kings and queens of blowing stuff up and making stuff hot. To be honest, we the gatekeepers of it. If we're going to be honest with it, nothing really gets, if we know history, nothing really gets blown up unless we do it.
Get it approved.
Exactly.
Yeah, nothing is cool until we approve it.
Exactly. Nothing is really cool till we do it. Nothing gets blown up. If we don't invent it, we have to co-sign it. If we don't do either one of that, it's lame. And all of society knows that. So that's why Nike got so big, because of black people. That's why Jordans got so big, because of black people. That's why Adidas got so big, because of black people. That's why all of these brands got so big, is because black people made it hot. If we took the same energy with a black-owned brand, that would be the next biggest thing, and then bam, that's the problem solved right there, you know?
Y'all should go to that black-owned business that do shoes and get you an Afro Elite shirt to match with it, and it would look amazing.
You definitely should. Man, this camera's, this make my teeth look all yellow with this light right here. Let me see. The first bath they would he said, Torian said the first bath they would take that week would be to get the nigga stench off of them.
The nigga stench off them. They get see what they gonna do is they go get the black old t-shirt, they go wear it on Instagram, Snapchat, you know, be posting with it like, okay, look guys, I told you I wasn't racist. I went to a black owned business and I bought me a nice t-shirt. Look, it says Afro Elite right here. All right, guys, I'm finna hop off the live. I will catch you guys later. Darn tootin'. You gonna cut the live video? Man, get this nigga shit up on me. Hell, I gotta take this shit off. Hell nah. Hey, mama, run the bath water. I gotta get this nigga stitch off me. This nigga done touched his hands all on this.
I swear they would. Let me see.
Yeah.
Nikki says Adidas got big off of black people, especially Run DMC. That's a fact. All of these black celebrities, all they have to do is wear a black-owned brand one time. We see celebrities wearing black shirts with like rest in peace, George Floyd and all that stuff. If a black owned celebrity of like Michael Jackson, not Jackson, Michael Jordan, because Michael Jackson not wearing nothing no more. Michael
I
Jackson
was
ain't gonna wear anything.
I was about to say, Jay, what he wear?
I swear, if Michael Jackson wears something, it's definitely gonna blow up.
Yeah, oh yeah, most definitely. It's gonna blow up for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah. If Michael Jordan were a black on anything, it's gonna blow up. If any of these rappers were any black on anything, it's gonna blow up. Okay.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
And your point about white people with their fake support. I remember in 2020 when you had a whole bunch of white people like, I see the problem now. I understand. I didn't see it before. But Black Lives Matter. I can't believe they did that to George Floyd. My best friend's girlfriend's cousin's neighbor was black. I see it now. They do that, right? And then the second it stops trending, they all like, let me delete this shit. Trump.
They
go anti-black as hell.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Or like when they be having the Black Lives Matter Foundation or whatever the hell on their Instagram profile, they'll put BLM because it was the thing to do after George Floyd. But then I'm looking at a lot of these pages now, they took all that shit off.
Oh yeah, all of it. All of the support.
Yeah, they took all that BLM
all of the
shit
pictures
off.
that got them they notoriety and everything. They were holding up. They was like black. They wrote it. Black Lives Matter. Defund the police. They were holding up like Black Lives Matter. Take a picture. They went cheese. Delete it, and then they ripped the page. They started burning it.
Oh, and they'll find one black person in the protest. They'll be like, "Here, can we take a picture? Black Lives Matter." And then they posted on Instagram for about a month. After the whole George Floyd thing settled down, okay, let me delete that. We got to get rid of that. All right, let me burn that poster I had on there. And even then with the protest and whatnot, they was the ones capitalizing off that so they could go riot in the streets. Because let's be for real, it was mostly them rioting in the streets.
Mostly them.
I remember the protest. I remember that. I was at the protest in Dallas downtown. I remember it was mostly white folks that was burning everything down.
Yep. I remember going downtown to Chicago. And the people who started it, because there was no burglary, no nothing. The people who started it was white people. White people. So I remember it like it was yesterday. It was a white man. He was kind of like a heavy-set white dude with long blonde hair. He broke into a Macy's. I saw it happen, and I was like, damn, the news isn't gonna speak on that. I remember seeing it. It was a heavy-set white dude. I remember the clothes. He had a black shirt and gray pants. Broke into the Macy's, ran in. I didn't see him come out, but he ran in there, and then everybody started following him. Then next thing you know, there started like a chain reaction where everybody started breaking into stuff. It was them who started that. And I was all like, but the media is going to show, oh, look at what Black Lives Matter is doing.
Oh, it's us doing it. Yeah, they're going to say that. Yeah. Yeah, I remember when I was at the one in downtown Dallas, it was a white boy. He had on like a gray t-shirt and whatnot, and he went up to the police. Like straight up in the police face. And he was saying something and whatnot, and then they shot him with one of them rubber bullet things or whatever it was. They shot him with that. And then all of a sudden, that's when all hell broke loose. And that was when you just see the white folks, they busting in with the white. What they would do is the white folks would bust the windows open, and then everybody else would follow afterwards type shit.
Yeah. That's what was happening.
And then if you watch the news, exactly, if you watch the Dallas news, they only showing us that's doing it. And I'm like, oh, okay. Y'all not finna just blame everything on us like you usually do. Yeah, you know they love to blame us for everything, which now that I think about that, Jay, I sent you a video today. Shout out to African Diaspora News Channel. Shout out to Phil. He was talking about the monkeypox situation. And how they only want to show black hands, only black people catching it, which we already know is them that be catching the shit, and then they like to spread it everywhere else, but then they like to blame us for it.
Yeah, they do. They try. Remember, oh man, this still Instagram and it's very. I don't want it to be taken down, but remember when it came to a certain thing that happened in 2020. Remember, it was a thing that black people weren't getting at all. Remember, black people were not getting that at all. And then
all of a sudden we was number one.
Yeah, and all of a sudden it was just Asians and white people and black. It happened so much. Black people making jokes like, "Damn, we invincible." Well, we not getting this at all. This not touching us. Then overnight, the African American community is the number one people that I'm like, well, hold on, like, hold on, like, how did we become number one after not getting it at all
in the span of a day? I remember that. I remember Waka Flocka was making jokes like, "Shit, us niggas, we can't get COVID. Oh, we can't get that disease from 2020." And all of a sudden, a day later, I remember my mama had screenshotted a picture to me saying, "Oh, African Americans are number one in that disease in 2020." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, hold on. What? How the hell we go from never having it to number one in just one day?"
Yeah, you think that there would be a lot of steps to get to that point.
To get to that point, no, it was just like that. Oh, y'all spreading that disease now. Or like Jay, I was talking about this in the live when we was talking about China and whatnot. In China, they was kicking Africans out of their apartments because they was blaming them for the spread of COVID.
They started blaming.
They was blaming them. They was kicking them out on the street. Like, get the hell out your apartment and you sleep on the street. You can't be up in here.
If and this goes for the defense, right? You had Africans who lived in China who were sleeping on the streets because they were the government and the people believed that they were the cause of the situation, right? Yeah. And then when in America, if you said that Asians were the cause, despite the fact that this situation originated, all of the evidence points to the situation originated from Wu-Tang, China. If you said this has anything to do with Asians, then that makes you racist. You can't associate Asians in this thing. Even the president, which was Donald Trump at the time, even the president said, "Look, if it came from Asia, it's an Asian virus, ain't it?" They was like, "Oh my God, that's racist. Yeah. That's racist." What? How is that racist? Now, if it came from Africa, y'all be all like, "See, this is why niggers need to die," and they would be saying all that stuff, and it would be justified. You say it came from Asia. Well, I mean, just because it came from Asia, don't make it Asian people's fault. Especially even the fact that they were spreading it, because it was months before, right? They had it months before. They didn't close nothing down. They didn't stop the traveling ban and all that. It was really Trump who was the first person to really cut the traveling bans. They didn't have any travel restrictions. So it was, so they all like, despite the fact that it's their fault, we can't say it's their fault. We can say it's the niggas' fault though. It's really the niggas' fault. Everything's always our fault. It's really the a little bit, but it's really the niggas' fault, you know.
It's really the niggas. Yeah, just put the blame on the niggas. The niggas did it. Or like even when Ebola was going on, they was talking about, "Oh, it's them niggas in Africa. Them niggas in Africa, they the cause of it. They the problem. Kill all them niggas there."
It don't matter what's going on. It don't matter what's going on. It's always the niggas' fault. It's always the niggas' fault.
Definitely. It don't matter. A white man it was raining outside. It was the niggas' fault.
They're gonna start blaming everything. When gas goes up to record-breaking numbers, they're gonna be like, "You see, the thing is that if
niggas need to stop going for gas,
if them damn niggas was going over there to fight the Russians like they were supposed to, if they were sacrificing themselves to fight the Russians like they were supposed to, we wouldn't be in this problem. It's really the niggas' fault.
It's really the niggas' fault. The niggas need to stop getting gas for their car.
See, the thing is, these niggas be driving such gas guzzling cars, despite the fact that white men are the ones that be driving them trucks. See, if niggas would stop buying rims and stuff like that, everything that happened is the niggas' fault.
Everything is the niggas' fault, okay? Shoot, 9/11 happens. Oh man, you know they crashed into the buildings. Oh well, if the niggas would have, if they would have been able to fight them, they would have been able to stop them. So it's the niggas.
Yeah, everything that happens, it's the niggas' fault. When Trump won the
Yeah, of
election,
course.
see, the niggas didn't vote for Donald Trump. That's the problem. It's the niggas' fault. Remember when Biden and Trump was having their thing where it was going days and they were still counting up the votes, and everybody was like, see, why didn't the niggas vote for Biden? It's really, if Trump wins, even before Trump didn't
Oh
even
yeah,
win.
if Trump would have won, you
Look,
already
Trump
know.
didn't even win the election. They were still counting the votes, but they was already getting ready to blame the niggas. They was all like, we still counting the votes, but before we count these votes, it's your fault, niggas. If we lose, it's your fault. Everything is
You
our fault.
already know. Everything is always our fault. It don't matter what the situation is, yo. It's always our fault. Hell, the Stop Asian Hate. Apparently, we were the ones that was beating up Asians.
Oh man,
Police brutality. That's our fault.
it's our fault. Everything's gonna be our fault.
Yeah, it's always our fault. Well, that's why they always like whenever a black person gets shot. Oh, he should have stopped resisting. He should. It was really his own fault that he got killed. Okay, he was tempting him. He was being resisted.
They gonna twist any and everything into being our fault.
Oh,
Any and everything is always our fault. Nothing. A situation might not even be tied to us, and it's our fault still. It's still our fault.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
With the Buffalo shooting, they watch them try to blame that on black people anyway. Watch them do that.
You niggas shouldn't have been stopping that day.
He was bullied in 2nd grade by a black man.
By Tyrone.
Yeah. He was bullied. He was jealous. A black man told him he had a small penis when they were 17. They're gonna say something like that. He had a black girlfriend that drove him crazy. Apparently, they're gonna say that. His black girlfriend drove him into madness.
His black girlfriend left him for another black man, and it drove him crazy. So it's really the niggas' fault why they
they already blaming Chicago. They are already trying to blame Chicago for something that happened in New York. They be all like, well, it seems like what's his name, Peyton. Well, although what he did was bad, we got to talk. Well, if Chief Keef wasn't making these YouTube videos inspiring gun violence, really it's King Von's fault. That's really who to blame. Okay, can we start talking about Drake and all of his violence and Little Durk and them? If the niggas wasn't making music videos, then we wouldn't be having these racial hate crimes. There's nothing that we can do. Even back in the day, look, they're gonna get so desperate to a point. They're going to get so desperate. They're gonna be all like, "Well, nigga, if you wasn't alive, we wouldn't have had to kill you. It's your."
Look, see, if your niggas wouldn't have been born, it's still your fault because you was born.
It's our fault regardless. Like, if you was dead before he killed you, he wouldn't have had to do it. So it's really your fault anyway. You should be apologizing to him for him having to go through the trouble of doing it.
Yeah, your nigga ass shouldn't have been shot for that day. So that's why he ended up. You shouldn't have ran out of groceries that day. You had to go to the grocery store. So it was really your fault. Stop eating it.
They gonna wind up saying that. They gonna tie it to the obesity. They would say, if black people just stopped eating, they wouldn't have been all that.
They sure would say that because they love to say black people got high blood pressure and diabetes. They're gonna be like, oh well, see, this ties into why they have high blood pressure because they're always shopping for food, and it's really their fault why they got shot at the grocery store.
They should have known better, really.
They really should have known better. Oh,
that nothing we do.
Oh, it's everything, man. All the time, it ain't got nothing to do with it.
I swear.
It ain't got shit to do with it.
Yep. But I'm gonna get off here. For a little bit. I appreciate you calling in.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I'm finna go ahead and give me some to eat. Now that we talking about food, I'm hungry.
See, it's
Yeah.
it's a nigga. I'm the nigga that made you hungry. It's always a nigga fault.
Yeah, it's your fault.
It's my day.
Oh man, but yeah, it's true. But this was a great live though. You gonna post this on YouTube?
Oh yeah, I probably will. If I find out how to do
Yeah,
it,
cause
I
I could
probably hold
you
on.
could
Let me
post
see.
these on you could post these on YouTube. Yeah, you could post these on YouTube.
Who? Let me see. Hold on. I can post it on YouTube. Okay, I'll do that then.
Yeah, once you like exit out of everything and you like you'll save the video. Oh, I think that's my pops right there. Oh, what's up, pops?
What's that?
Oh, what's going on? How you doing?
Oh yeah, okay, Jay. Jay, this my pops right here. Pops, this is Jay.
Yeah, shit, nigga. Huh? What you say?
Hold up, Jay, this my pops right here. Pops, this is Jay.
What's up,
Nice to
bro?
meet you. Nice to meet you.
Already, bro.
Yeah.
What's that?
He's heard some good things. Nothing chilling. We over here talking about this black thing and how they love to blame black people for everything.
As always, we the scapegoat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all that is. We the scapegoat. Whatever goes down, we caused it. Anyhow, the white folks caused it, but we caused it.
Yeah. I was just talking about it because they got this monkey flu thing or whatever going around.
Yeah.
And they blame the black people. Yeah.
Yeah, the monkey. I saw that. See, Elijah came home the other day and told me about it, but I didn't pay him no mind. And then when I haven't been laying in the bed and I saw it on the news, I'm like, man, get the fuck out of here. First thing they like, it come from Africa. I'm like, man, get the fuck out of here, man.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. We was talking about that. We was talking about COVID and whatnot, and how they was blaming we was spreading it and whatnot.
Tell Frankie what he got to do. He ain't got to tell me. Hey, Potato. Hold on, dear. Potato. I'm about to text you. He already got your phone number, so I'm about to send you that money. Okay, all right, do that. All right, you gonna text me his cash app. But he not knowing if your phone number, his phone. I don't know. Yeah. What deal?
I don't know. He stepped off. I don't know if
He stepped off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you been all right, bro?
I've been good, brother. I've been good. How have you been?
Oh, I've been good.
Request. He just sent a request to come back. Maybe he got disconnected.
Oh, got you. I'm living it up. Shit. That's all I can say.
That's good. Okay, we got our brother Dylan back.
Yeah, Dilly, yo, shit, nigga ain't doing shit, man. I'm over here at Ernie, nigga barbecuing and shit.
Oh yeah, you already know cousin Ernie gonna be cooking good.
Real good. It's about to rain and shit.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all about to get some good sleep. Y'all about to get some good sleep.
Yeah, our cousin Ernie be cooking some.
For real, I'm barbecuing in the back. I'm up in the front. Yeah, but other than that, man, I ain't doing shit, man.
Already.
About to get ready for Eli with football.
When does football start?
Well, we start. They done start practicing already. They got 5 teams after him. I don't know which one I want him to play with yet.
Oh, that's what's up. Hey, that's good that he got 5 teams trying to get him on.
Oh yeah, they want him bad.
I gotta get out of here, y'all. There's some stuff I gotta finish handling.
But y'all gonna do your thing, bro. I got to go. I was just hollering. Dill, I'll call you later on the night, bro. All right then.
Shout out to you, Mr. Filler.
Already, bro.
Dylan. Shout out to our brother Nino. I see us. Let me see who's in here. Hold on. Let me see who's in here. Our brother Torian's in here. We got our brother Nikki in here. Dylan's still in here. Iron Wells. Our sister Kaya's in here. Well, Nino was in here. So shout out to everybody. I think we had a pretty good conversation. I'm gonna start doing more Instagram lives. I'm doing something new, I guess. I don't really go live unless it's YouTube. And I don't do it like spontaneously. I always have try to do a set schedule. But I'm gonna try to when I'm free and there's something I want to talk about, I'm gonna just I'm gonna go on Instagram and do it like that. But I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna get out of here. You guys have a good rest of your weekend. I'm gonna be posting this on YouTube too. And I said brother Nikki. If I just said that, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. Did I say brother Nikki? Sister Nikki. Nikki the God. Y'all go follow our people, the people I just said. I said that? Oh, my fault. But I'm gonna catch y'all later.